Call of Duty Black Ops 1 5. Now, when you think of 5, tell me what you think of. Is it the Pentagon Thief? The Winter's Howl? How close, compact and small the corridors are on this map? But if you think that, then I salute you, because what I think of is how overhated this map was by the zombies community back in 2010. Now, you're probably thinking, why am I saying this is overhated? This map isn't overhated. It is very overhated. The reason I say that is because everyone who's played this map, if you love Black Ops 1 or you hate Black Ops 1, you've played 5. Let's be real. This map has just been way too overhated, and it's aged like milk. It's terrible how people have taken this map. This map genuinely is a fun map if you're just bored. I know you're thinking, what do you mean it's fun? It genuinely is a fun map. Let's put it into perspective here. It genuinely is a fun map to play. But people just hate 5 because of the slow, well, I won't say slow, sorry, the corridors, the Pentagon Thief because he takes your gun, and if you don't kill him, then he takes it forever. But no one sees the positives to this map like I do, and like a majority of the community does as well. So to start off, everyone, I'm going to start with the positives on the best things about this map and how you unlock this map, because I'll just run through it all, so it's not like it's not a tutorial, but we're just going to run through it all. We're going to make our way over to this computer and type in 3 and arc for Treyarch, and then once you've done that, you'd sit back down, Zombies Solo 5. But that's just brief on how you unlock it. But if you've played Black Ops 1 for the last 14 years, you probably know how you do this by now. But now there's probably new people watching this video who've never played 5. The first thing I want to talk about is find out how you unlock it. So Pentagon Thief. There you go. And how is a positive to this map. You're probably thinking, what the fuck? How is he a positive to this map? There's many ways we can go from this. So let's just start off with the first positive. He's a unique boss zombie and a unique boss round. From World at War, Shinonuma up until Kino, we had Hellhounds. Shinonuma Hellhounds, Darius Hellhounds, Kino Hellhounds. 5 was the first unique zombies boss we've had. Period. Second, if you kill him before he takes one of your weapons, he gives you a bonfire sale. Now, if you don't know what a bonfire sale is, it's a sale. So it's a power up that drops when you kill the Pentagon Thief without getting your weapons taken. And the pack punch is 1,000 points. Now, if you ask me, that is a fucking bargain. But if you're on round 5, it means nothing. If you're on round like 5 to 7, that means nothing, because at that rate you don't have enough money to pack a punch. Unless, well, no, because you wouldn't have got the map open and you wouldn't turn power on. But that's not what I'm trying to get at. That's another positive, and the backstory behind him. Obviously, Yuri is his name, if you didn't know, and his links to Ascension and all that. That's a whole different video. But we're here to talk about the positives of 5, and then I'm going to talk about the negatives and then conclusion. But that's the first positive, is the Pentagon Thief. Now, the second positive is how challenging this map is. If you're a new zombies player, I'd recommend you stay far fucking away from this map. Sorry for my language. Sorry for my language, yeah, there we go. If you're a new zombies player who wants to have a casual experience on Black Ops 1, go play 5. Or if you have the DLC, or Ascension if you have DLC. But just stay away from 5, because 5 is a challenging map. But that's what makes it so good. It's close corridors. How tight the map is. It's like Verrückt. The map's really close quarters. Same with Noct as well, I guess. The map's really close quarters. There's not a lot of spaces. Let's put it this way. As you can see in the gameplay, I'm on the first floor, aka... Sorry, the first floor. Why did I say aka 4? The first floor. So you have... On this floor you have Speed Cola, 3 wall weapons, M14, MPL, as you saw me pick up. You have Quick Revive, and you have the Olympia. And then you have this elevator which takes you down to the war room, which, as you'll see in the gameplay, I will be going down to. But the reason this map is so challenging is because the Wonder Weapon is horrific. The Winter's Howl is don't even that's a negative of this map. But we're getting to positives. The positive of this is how challenging and fun this map is. You're thinking, fun? This map isn't fun. If you're playing this with 2 people or more, this map is fun. I've played this with 3 of my friends, 2 of my friends, and it's so fun when you're on high rounds because yes, you'll take stupid downs, but it's the funny moments that count, bro. Like it's the funny moments that counts. But as you can see, we're in the war room, and this is, if not the best spot on 5, because you have Jug, you have the elevator down to the laboratories, which is the worst part of the map, period. Mule kick, and you have these defcon switches. Now, as you can see from the gameplay, the defcon switches are what you use to get Pack-a-Punch open. So there are 5 defcon switches, and you have to turn all of them on from defcon 1, defcon 2, defcon 3, defcon 4, defcon 5. You get the point of it. You turn all of them on, you get Pack-a-Punch. But that's not the reason. The war room is the best spot for training because look at the space in here. You're thinking it's not that much, but realistically, take a look at the rest of this map. There's not a lot of space in general, is there? Same with the first floor. You could do the electric trap strap, but you have to be high skilled for that, and not everyone who plays 5 is high skilled. Now, for the other part of the map, the 3rd floor laboratory. If you've played 5, you know that this is the worst spot to be, unless you're in the elevator. As you can see from the gameplay here, this has got so many crowd. This is the epitome of zombies right here. Bro, even 5 zombies can get you stuck down there. Because yes, there's a lot of ways to run, a lot of places to go. There's Pack-a-Punch, there's telephone, which activates the secret music Easter egg, by the way. The Eminem and Pink song, Won't Back Down, banger tune. I won't be playing it because copyright, you know. But yes, they have a variety of stuff down here. There's mystery boxes, M16, there's a Bowie knife. You name it, it's down here, apart from parks, obviously. There's a pig as well, by the way. If you like pigs, don't kill the pig. If you kill the pig, you're a weirdo. But that's not what we're saying. If you see here, there's a lot of room in the compartments. I don't know what you want to call them. There's a lot of labs. But realistically, this is the worst place to be. If you play 5, you're either going to be in the war room or on the 1st floor. But mainly the war room. That has a few escape routes. Pack-a-Punch, if the door's open. If not, then you're cooked. Teleporter or 2 elevators down. Now, I'm not going to do too many positives because, as I said, I want to make positives and negatives and a conclusion. So, another one of the positives, and probably last, is the crew. This is technically the first, I don't want to say celebrity crew, but it's the first off-cast crew from Nikolai, Richtofen, Dempsey and Takio. So, in this crew, we play as JFK, obviously John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, Fidel Castro and Robert McNamara. I'm not going to say his name because I'm going to get cooked. But you play as those 4 who have really good voice lines. They have different personalities. Of course they would. You have a president, you have a vice president, you have Castro. You get the point. But what makes it so good and what makes them in this so good is 4 historical figures in the Pentagon fighting out against zombies, trying to see who survives, with very unique lines and very different personalities. And when you're playing solo, say you're playing as JFK or Castro, they've all got very unique voice lines and they all sound funny. Like they all got humour to them, which gives the game, it brings the game more to life. Like it gives it a bit more of that, you know what I'm talking about. It makes the game feel a bit. But not only that, it's also fitting because why would you have the crew in the Pentagon? I mean, I get they did in Classified, but that's not what we're here for. The Pentagon, Castro, Robert, Richard and JFK. An amazing cast, amazing voice actors, because obviously I'm pretty sure JFK's voice actor isn't JFK. He's obviously an impersonator. But they did an amazing job on the voice acting, and it's the same with Call of Duty with a celebrity cast. It brings the game more to life and gives it a unique feeling, and that's what these characters do. They give it a unique feeling, and it makes the game better to play. Now, for the negative side of this map, that noise you just heard is potentially the most scariest noise in COD Zombies history. Even recording this at 3 AM is scaring me, because all you hear instead of hearing the normal round change music, you hear that. There's nothing more scary than playing on your own with headphones in, and all you hear is that little boom, and the alarms are going off, everything. And then look, you can see from the gameplay, he's chasing you, and I'm going to walk you through the gameplay. So, as you can see in the gameplay, I'm chasing him, because if he catches you, he will take your gun, and if you don't kill him before I think it's like a minute and a half, or 90 seconds, basically if you don't kill him, he takes your gun forever. So let's say you have a ray gun, and he catches you, and you don't kill him, your ray gun's gone, my boy. Your ray gun's gone, you're never getting that back. But there's a few positives to the Pentagon Thief. I think I mentioned earlier. He gives you a bonfire sale, which is amazing. But the negatives to this guy is he's scary. The backstory of him, which I'm not going to go into this video because it's a 5 video, it's not a Yuri video. But hearing that noise late at night, or even just any time of day, playing solo is creepy. Because also of the little noise he makes, the Pentagon Thief, and you don't know where he's going to come from. The scary thing about him though is when you're playing co-op, you don't know who he's going after. So let's say there's 2 people in a co-op lobby, right? If it's you and your friend in a co-op lobby, and you don't know where he is, say you're on 1st floor or 3rd floor, the only person who can see him is the person who's getting chased. So let's say I'm playing with my mate, and the Pentagon Thief comes for us, and I can't see him. All you can see is little numbers floating, bro. And you just hear that music. It genuinely is the scariest thing of all time. I'm not even kidding. If you think I'm lying, please play 5 Zombies at 3 AM, max volume headphones, and listen to that. And trust me, if you're not scared, then fair play. I will salute you, honestly. Now, for another negative to this is how challenging this map is. Although it can be a fun map at times, this map is, for the average Zombies player, it's maybe average enjoyable. You can get to around 15-20. But if you're a new Zombies player, as I said earlier, you are not going to like this map. It's too crowded. I'm not going to lie, I'd rather play the Rooked. Because, you know what, both of them equally are very tight maps. And if you need to have at least a decent knowledge of training to play this map. Because you cannot just play this map casually, bro. You have to fully lock in, and I mean lock in. Because one slight mistake and you're finished. Bearing in mind, this is the BO1 engine system. So, Jug is a 5 hit. But if you don't have Jug and you're training without it, one small slip up gets you cooked. And it's hard to navigate, especially in the laboratories. If you're in the laboratories, navigating is the worst thing of all time. Because you could be in one room and then go into another room and not know where you are. Yes, there's only like 3 rooms, but 4 rooms, I think. Yeah, there's 2 by power on the right and then 1 on the left, and then power itself. That's not the point. In any of those rooms, you can get cornered at any moment. The only way out is teleporters. And if you haven't turned power on, because you're stuck and you have to run, that's another thing. If you go down to the laboratories and you can't get power on because there's too many zombies, you have no way out unless you're killing them all. And if you've not got a good gun, you're not surviving. I promise you, you're not surviving. Another negative I just want to go over is this part on the wall room, this top shelf, the top part. Look how close this is. I'm lucky I'm even running. Look at this. I think I go down here. I didn't. But I'm only on round 10 on this gameplay, so it's not like it's like too hard. But if you're on round 20 max, or even like 15, this might be the most. This is worse than laboratories because you can only go one way. Look, yeah, I think I go down here. Yeah, look, that's just how crowded this map can get from these stupid little mistakes, especially on BO1's engine with how glitchy zombies are. Not as glitchy as World at all, but they're still glitchy. This is how serious it can get, especially in laboratories. You have no way out with power, and as you can see here, I've got no quick revive, but luckily I grabbed a jug. But still, because of the 2-hit system when you're down, and how lethal the zombies are. This is what makes 5 a very challenging map. See, now there's a few more downsides we can go over. I'm not going to go over a lot because obviously I went through, I believe, 3 or 4 positives. So we're going to do 3 or 4 negatives and then a conclusion. But another one is the gun selection on Black Ops 1. While, as you can see, I have the Commando and I have a decent weaponry. If you have guns like the China Lake or the M75 Law, for that matter of fact, any explosive weapon, even the ray gun, on this map is terrifying. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've had the ray gun and gone down, even with Jug, because I'm trying to get out of a sticky situation. But let's say you have double tap, for example. If you have double tap, then it's not the worst because it shoots double bullets, but you're not always guaranteed going to get out of that situation. And because there's no PhD on 5, let's say you're on the top balcony, for example, on 5. If you're on the top balcony in the war room, and there's 4 zombies from each side, and then there's like 10 more behind each of them, if you're escaping with a ray gun, you're literally dead. You're thinking, oh no, you'll be fine. You won't be fine. With PhD, you might be okay. But because you have to run into the zombies and shoot a ray gun, just to even get remotely close to killing them, you'll swipe from behind, and you're finished. And then because you've already shot yourself with the ray gun, you're not going to survive long because the splash damage on a ray gun on the older games is insane, and getting hit by zombies is not very good. So another downside is the weaponry in this game, because the weaponry is not that great, especially on high rounds. That's what makes 5 difficult, because the Winter's Howl, which is our last negative, is the worst wonder weapon of all time. Period. If you have a different opinion on what the worst wonder weapon is, please hit me, please, because the Winters, I cannot remotely say how terrible this went. I mean, bro, Treyarch thought it was such a good idea. They added this on the fucking Verrucht remaster on BO1. I don't know what they was thinking, but look, I don't get it. Most of you probably don't. The Winter's Howl is the worst wonder weapon of all time, and when you upgrade it to, I believe it's the Winter's Fury, it's not like it gets any better. All it does is freeze the zombies. So if you're like round 40 on 5, yeah, the Winter's Howl can slow them down, but not for long. And when you have to reload and then there's more zombies coming at you that aren't frozen and you can't switch your weapon in time, you're finished. So that's what I mean by the weaponry. The Winter's Howl's not a great wonder weapon. The ray gun drops off after a while. This is what's so hard about high rounds on Black Ops 1, unless you're playing Ascension or Kino or Shang, or even Moon. The only tough, realistically, 5 is one of those maps where 50 is a challenge. Don't get me wrong, not everyone can get to 50. You have to be good at zombies to get to 50 or somewhat decent. And if you're not decent enough, you can't get to 50. If you can get to 50 on 5, that's an accomplishment. Yeah, 70, 80, 100, yeah, whatever, fine, cool. But getting to around 50 on 5 is a challenge. Getting to around 50 on 5 is like getting to around 80 on Ascension. Because Ascension's so much easier, because it has PhD, so you can abuse the Mustang and Sallies, because you're not going to die, but they drop off. And you have PhD and a Thunder Gun, so you're chilling. And that has way more space. But this is a 5 video. So the weaponry is not that great. The Winter's Fury is not that great. The Pentagon Thief has its positives, but has its negatives as well. The map's layout has its negatives. Overall, it's just not the greatest in some situations. But unless you're a really high skilled zombies player, this is a really tough map. Let's be really honest. Okay, everybody. Now that we've talked about a few of the positives and a few negatives of 5, let's just get into conclusion and conclude what we've talked about. So, as a conclusion, I believe this map is overheated. Now, we can get into a lot of reasons why it's overheated and why it's not. Back in 2010, when the game first came out, everyone was banging Kino. I was banging Kino. Let's be real. Kino was amazing. It was an amazing map. Thunder Gun, you had the teleporter, the link system. it was amazing. Let's be so honest with ourselves that when 5 was released, obviously it was released on the same day, but not everyone found out about it on the same day because right, let's be real, guys. Who goes up to a random computer and goes 3 arc? Come on. So, just saying. But I believe it was just overshadowed and overhated because 1, it didn't have the Ultimus crew, which I do agree with. 2, it's kind of it's not a used idea, but it's kind of boring because it's the Pentagon, and everyone knew what. Like, so back in 2010, obviously everyone knew what the Pentagon was because it's like the main base in America. Kino, it's a new map idea. It's cool, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It was overhated because, and plus, there another reason is because of the layout. But if you look back, before Black Ops 1, all you had was World at War. And let's take a look at the maps in there. So we had Nacht, Verrückt, Chino, and Doris. 2 of those 4 maps I just mentioned are close quarters and tough maps. So the reason it was overhated is because 5 is added to that list of overhated of like it's a really small map. Sorry, it's a really small map. It's challenging. There's little to no room to run. You can't go into a massive area and train. Like, for example, the biggest area in 5 is the war room, and that's not even big. 2 zombies, I think 1 zombie actually can trap you in a little spot and you're finished. Not even 2 zombies, 1. 1 zombie could finish you like that. Could end your whole game. That just proves how challenging this is, and I get why it was overhated because not everyone wants to try hard or wants to if you want to play zombies and have a chill experience, you'd play Kino and Black Ops 1. You wouldn't play 5. If you want a challenging experience and wanted to try, you would play 5. Let's be real. But as I said, what doesn't make this map good is the Pentagon thief, taking your weapons, how overcrowded it is. The wonder weapon is not great. The weaponry is not great. But that's what I mean by it has its positives. The Pentagon thief, if it doesn't take your gun, bonfire sale. 1,000 points on the Pack-a-Punch, take my money. A selective crew of historical figures, take my money. And it's just, look, I didn't even talk about the music Easter egg. Well, obviously I did, but that's another positive that we could add on to this. You have an amazing soundtrack in Won't Back Down by Eminem and Pink. And it's probably, if not like top 5 greatest COD Zombies Easter egg songs we've had ever. That's a fact. And it's like 115 and Beauty of Annihilation. When you've got that song on, you feel invincible. Not when you've got these. Oh, you know what? There's so much to this map that I didn't even talk about that I could go into. For example, here, Nova crawlers in laboratories. That's another downside to this that we'll add on to this conclusion. When you get onto the laboratories, it's only the laboratories, there's Nova crawlers. Yes, you guessed it right. From Kino, they brought them back into 5, which was a dumb idea, but I can see why they did it. But what makes it so annoying is if you don't get stuck by a zombie, you get stuck by a Nova crawler. And if you kill the Nova crawler, you're not safe because their gas blinds you like a flashbang. And oh my god, it takes damage off you as well. So zombies kill you easier. What? Easily? Okay. Zombies kill you more easy. They kill you easier. And it's just not great. And plus, as I said, when you're on a high round, if you're in laboratories, which I don't know why you'd be in the laboratories on a high round. Let's be so honest with ourselves. If you're in the laboratories past round 30, you're a weirdo. Unless you've died and you're on hitbox. That's the only reason you're there. You're not there for anything else. Because why would you be there? Nova crawlers and zombies in laboratories is the worst combination of all time. There's nowhere to run. And if you've not got a good gun, like the ray gun, or a Pack-a-Punch HK, or RPK, or Commando, or even a crossbow, because the crossbow actually is it's like a secondary monkey. It attracts the zombies. But if you've not got that, then you're just finished. You're literally there's no way of escaping. But look, I'm gonna start waffling. This video has been a waffle fest from start to finish. but this video's taking me quite a bit of time. This would have been out a while ago, but I've taken my time with it. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I've just been trying to figure it. I've got a lot of ideas in my head, but it's when I want to post, what I want to post, and how quality the video is going to be. I've taken a lot of time in this video because I don't want it to be rushed. I just want to take my time, talk about it, and things. So, yeah. In my opinion, was 5 overhated? Yes. Is it still overhated? Yes. Could people be more lenient towards this map? Yes, they could. Of course they could. They could be more lenient. I think for 2010, this map's amazing. Don't get me wrong. As I said, the one weapon's ass. You know, weaponry's 10 not that great. I get all that, but yeah. At the end of the day, 2010 map, amazing crew, has its downsides, but it has its bonuses like every other map. I love 5. Well, I won't say I love it. I like it. Let's put it that way. I like the map. I'm not gonna say I love it. Like, oh my god, I love this map. It's a great map. Okay, it's a great map. The community is obviously gonna be community. They're gonna hate it. They're gonna love it. But at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And this map is overhated, and it got overshadowed by Kino because when Black Ops 1 came out, I don't think a lot of people played 5 at that moment because Kino was just superior with the Thunder Gun and the Link Teleport. But that's going to be all from me in today's video. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on post notifications to stay tuned for more. I will be pushing for a video every Thursday to Friday, or if I can get my content out and make it really good at a decent production level, I'll get 2 a week. But yeah, thank you for watching. I see you all. Stay safe. See you on the next one. Peace.